Hey, Skylar here from the Mint Change You Can Wear. And today we're going to be making a ring out of these. A Morgan silver dollar and an old Canadian large cent. This is going to be an exciting video. We're using new tools today and completely new techniques. And also later in the video we're going to be announcing the winner of the giveaway from last week. Alright, let's get right to it. This is the Morgan dollar. And here is the Canadian large cent. The reason I picked that is because look at the detail on that side of the coin. That design is awesome. And it's going to look so good in a ring. So the first thing we need to do is get a hole cut in these guys so we can start making the rings. I'm going to cut a 3/4 inch hole in this guy because I want a little bit thinner of a band. And this one is perfect at a 9/16 of an inch. And that'll cut that perfectly right around there so that way we have that design perfectly even on the ring. And we're using Jason's Works Auto Punch. Now we're going to switch to our 9/16 die. Now that we have our hole cut, we need to deburr that cut in that we did just now. And now we're going to use some 220 grit sandpaper just to sand that end in there and get rid of any marks a deburring tool might have left. Sweet! On to the next coin. Our next step is to anneal these guys or soften them by heating them up with a torch and then quenching them. And I know what you're thinking if you deal with metal at all. You think, no, don't do that because it's going to harden it, right? You quench it. Oh no, what we're going to do?
Hey, why do you got to be so negative all the time? Because I'm not very happy.
But quenching non-ferrous metals like silver, copper, no big deal. It's not like steel. Now these are all softened and ready to start folding into ring shapes. We're going to do this one first and get it all sized right. And then we're going to do this one second. We're going to bring it right to the right size once we have this one finished. And this is the die we're going to be using. And we're going to be using the 1.5 side. Anything we're going to want facing on the inside of this band needs to be on the top of the die. So you're going to be folding it inward. And once the initial press is done, we're going to switch to this folding cone. This one's not steel, so it's not going to damage the detail on the inside of the ring. Now that it's folded all the way, we're gonna re-anneal it and Swedish wrap it. But the Swedish wrap dies are these guys, and what they're designed to do is extrude the coin down into a completely smaller size by shrinking the whole thing. And it barely fits in the top of my biggest one. So what I'm going to do is just take this coin edge side and put it in one of our regular 17-degree dies and then reduce it so it'll fit in the Swedish wrap die a little easier. All right, that's all we need. Re-anneal. So this is our Swedish wrap dies back here. So we're going to pick the largest one and we're going to be using this Ross coin ring push follower in order to press it down far enough. But first, we need to realize why they call it the Swedish wrap. Swedish guy wrapped his coin with Teflon. Placing it in the die, and we're going to put it underneath our 1-ton arbor press and press it out. Okay, so we've pressed it till it starts to barely come out the bottom. We don't want it to come all the way at the bottom because it can damage the coin, so we're gonna stop there. And if we wanted to go smaller, we could switch to a smaller Swedish wrap die, this next one. But now what we need to do is pull it out, take the tape off, and now we have it like this. So it shrank down quite a bit from where it was, but it still has a taper to it. So in order to get rid of that taper, we're gonna re-anneal it, re-wrap it with Teflon tape, and then flip it the other way around in the Swedish wrap die and press it and make this coin flat-sided. just started to poke out the bottom. We need to stop. All right, here's what came out after we got done unwrapping it. Pretty close to straight if it's not perfectly straight. It's really darn close. That will do. What we're going to do now is deburr this edge right here. It feels really uncomfortable when you wear it if you don't round that off and make it a comfort fit. All right, time for some post deburring close-up shots in slow-mo. Now we're going to be setting this one aside for a few minutes while we make this guy. And we're going to speed this one up for your viewing pleasure. Okay, so now we have these pretty close in size, and we're going to stop there. We're going to do the rest of the fitting here in a few minutes. But what we need to work on now, clean it up and antique the inside with some liver of sulfur gel. So now what I've done here is I've got a jeweler's pickle. It's a citric acid pickle I get from Nature's Touch. And what it's going to do is going to clean the exterior of this silver ring we just got done making. We'll throw it in there for a few minutes, let it get cleaned off, we'll wipe it down, clean it with a little bit of Dawn dish soap, and get it ready for the liver of sulfur. Okay, it's been in there for a couple minutes now. I think it's going to be good enough. Clean it off in a little water. All right, nice and cleaned up. Now we have some water heated up just below boiling. I'm going to be using this. It's something called XL gel. It's a liver of sulfur gel. And we're going to take a drop or two of it, throw it in the water, mix it in, and then let our ring soak in there for about a minute. Starting to change colors. Actually, it looks pretty darn cool, doesn't it? We're gonna keep going, let it get it nice and black. All right, that's been about long enough. Now this is what it looks like coming out of the liver of sulfur bath. Perfectly dark. And what we're gonna do now is finish up the inside of it with some 4-0 steel wool. It's gonna take a lot of this black back off so we have it only in the low spot so we can see the detail really good. Perfect. All right, now the fun really begins. So here's the new tool. It's a little miniature tabletop metal lathe. So now, since I'm starting to use this new tool, I'm a little worried because it's a machine, you could rip off your fingers. I wanna make sure I go through the proper checklist before I begin using this thing. Is it plugged in? Yep. Is the safety screen in place? Yep. Have you removed all loose clothing and jewelry? Yep. Do you have safety glasses on? Yep. How about YouTube socks? Yep. Have you reviewed any warnings of what not to do? All right, I think we're all covered. Let's get started. Well, that was a poor decision. Ugh. So now what we're doing is just milling the top section of this coin off and making it nice and smooth. And once we're done with that, we're going to be cutting a channel in the middle of this coin just big enough for the Canadian large cent to fit into. And while we're watching that, I wanted to bring an organization to your guys' attention. It's called Destiny Rescue. And what they do is they rescue kids from the sex trafficking industry. A lot of places like Thailand, and it's an epidemic of kids being sold into this kind of slavery by their parents, or they're being trafficked by other people. And this organization, what they do is they go in there undercover to a lot of these brothels and identify the kids in there. And what they do is get to know them, gain their trust, and then give them the opportunity to be rescued from that. Sometimes they'll go in and actually, kick the doors down and rescue all the kids at once. That's called a hard rescue. It costs about $1,300 to rescue one child. These kids really need an advocate, and that could be you, that could be me. So I just wanted to bring it to your guys' attention, and I'll be putting a donate button on the video here if I can figure it out. If not, I got a link in the description box below, and I'll also link some of their videos so you can learn a little bit more about them, who they are, and exactly what they're doing. And let's go ahead and get back to the ring now. Okay, so the lathe work is pretty much finished now. We checked with the micrometer to make sure they were the same size each, and this thing fits nicely in between it. Now what we're going to do is reduce this coin edge side in a die until it will allow this to slide over it into the channel. And once we get it there, then we'll expand this back and the ring will be almost finished. All right, I think we'll just about fit on now. Let's see. Now what we're going to do is expand this side back out to keep it captured. What we want to do is find a die that this fits over the top of and doesn't go in. And we're going to take our cone and expand that back out. Just finishing off with some 4-0 steel wool. Now just polish it up with a jewelry rag and we'll be good to go. The winner from last week's video is going to be Amrit Brar, and we'll be sending you a message here shortly. And thank you guys for watching. If you found this enjoyable, please hit the subscribe button and be sure you check out my coin rings on the link here on the screen. All right guys, till next time, thanks.